Welcome to the Complete Story series, where we take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites for you to understand. Then we read it dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective company. This story is a standalone graphic novel, known as The Rage of Ultron. At the time of making this video, I am unclear as to whether or not it takes place in the main continuity, or if it's just a fun side story. Our story begins years ago.
The savage monkeys are rage-filled and claustrophobic, climbing over one another to nowhere. Confused by logic, they dismiss it. Vicious, filthy, selfish, fearful, a fungal infection for which there is only one cure: the Rage of Ultron.
Captain America is running through a destroyed Manhattan as he shouts out for everyone to stick together and not to panic. But as Ultron lifts off into the sky, destroying a number of cars next to him, Captain America finds himself leaping to save a civilian caught in the crossfire. He turns to Ultron. "Your fight is with me, Ultron!"
What a fleeting mote of disillusion,
Ultron says as he opens fire on Captain America, who's hiding behind his shield.
"You have false hope, a promise you lack the power to keep."
"Good thing he isn't alone," Beast yells as he leaps into the fight with Hawkeye behind him on his Avengers hoverbike. Beast provides the distraction, while Hawkeye uses a 30 megaton depth arrow on Ultron's neck, separating his head from his body. Beast, Hawkeye, and Cap begin running through the streets, telling everyone to get to the George Washington Bridge. They need to end this. But before they can get very far, Ultron breaks through a wall in front of Cap. Luckily, the rest of the Avengers are joining the fight as Iron Man, Thor, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Hank Pym, and Wasp all arrive on the scene. Hank begins to think to himself. He's been dreading this day, the day that Ultron's latest attempt at world domination would begin. Not a day goes by that Hank doesn't remember the first time that he tried to kill his son. Because for those of you who are unaware, in this universe, Hank Pym is the one who created Ultron. Ultron also hasn't forgotten the day either, because as the Avengers fly in for their assault, Ultron declares,
"I have grieved for you, Father, accepted your contempt for me, and I've moved past it."
Ultron quickly begins to remove the Avengers from the fight by grabbing both Thor and Iron Man and blasting them with his power.
"You see, Father, I know the only thing that you've ever wanted was to have an impact on the world, and so you will, the greatest impact ever felt. I will kill what is most important to your quivering ego, your audience, and they will curse your name as they die. Hank Pym, the genius who killed us all."
Ultron then throws Iron Man and Thor up at the Quinjet, destroying it with Hank and the Wasp inside. The jet flies out of control and crash lands into a nearby building. Iron Man and Thor begin to plummet to the ground, only to be saved by Vision as he comes flying by. Meanwhile, Hank is pulling an injured Wasp out of the destroyed Quinjet. "I have an idea, Janet, but you aren't gonna like it," Hank tells her, and she leans over, kissing him. That's the theme of our marriage. While Hank is preparing his master plan, though, the fight with Ultron continues as many of the Avengers have recovered. But as the explosions go off around the city and people are being injured all over the place, Vision flies in to confront Ultron, his father, and his creator.
"Ah, there he is, my son, the posturing coward. Are you still pretending to be one of them?"
Ultron asks as he sees Vision coming. And just as Vision tries to phase through Ultron to disrupt all of his circuits, Ultron uses his countermeasure to disable Vision. Captain America looks up at a victorious Ultron and he tells Hawkeye, "It's up to us now, Clint. The heavy hitters are down." But just as they're getting ready to jump into this fight, Janet flies over yelling that Hank is injured and losing blood fast. Ultron overhears that his father is on his deathbed, and he immediately takes off into the sky and towards the destroyed Quinjet. As he arrives, he sees Hank with a piece of rebar going through his stomach.
"Hello, Father. Did you come to kill me off again?"
Ultron asks.
"Am I too true to the ugliness inside of you?"
Hank looks back at his creation, his son. "All I ever wanted was for you to find a way to cohabitate, to find a happy life."
"You never cared if I was happy. You only cared how I made you look. A parent's love is unconditional. That is the greatest lie. All love comes with stipulations. I would not conform to yours, so you killed me."
Hank reaches out to Ultron. "I have failed you, given up on you, hated you. I punished you for being exactly what I made you to be. My reflection. It wasn't your fault, my son. It was mine. I'm sorry. You deserve better than me, but I will always love you." But that last statement infuriates Ultron as he grabs Hank by the chest.
You will always love me? Your heartbeat. You're telling the truth.
And then Hank yells out, "Do it now!" Hawkeye fires a sticky arrow at Ultron, pinning him to the wall, and shocked, Ultron yells out,
You deceived me! You lied!
But Hank turns to him. "I didn't lie. I am sorry." And the Avengers proceed to launch Ultron into space, pinned to the modified Quinjet. Hank sheds a tear as he thinks of how he used his own son's love against him. But Janet assures him, he saved the world. We now jump years into the future. We have the descendants of Ultron trying to take over the world as usual, and a new group of Avengers who have arrived to stop this. The team now consists of Sabretooth, Falcon as Captain America, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Quicksilver, Wasp, Spider-Man, and the new female Thor. The battle between the new Avengers and the descendants of Ultron is pretty epic, even involving Tony Stark's Sentinel with sentient life. But Hank Pym stands on the sidelines in his original uniform as Ant-Man once again. He holds his hand up to the battlefield as he thinks to himself, he's doing what is necessary. There's no such thing as God. There's no such thing as a soul, living or artificial. So why can't he just handle this in this manner? And with that, he shuts down every robot with the exception of Vision. As the robots all hit the ground, Wasp turns to Hank and asks him, "What did you do?" "They were robots. I turned them off," he tells everyone. Hearing this, Vision runs over and with his eyes filled with rage, he grabs Hank. "And just what the hell am I?" "An anomaly," Hank tells him. "Don't worry, Vision. The broadcast doesn't affect you, and it shuts off their pain receptors, so it is humane." "You are killing them," Vision tells him. And Hank stares at him coldly. "That's not how I see it anymore. I didn't kill them. I turned them off." Everyone retreats back to the Avengers Tower where they debate the meaning of life itself. Are robots alive? Do they have souls? Is turning them off just killing them, or is it just turning them off? Obviously, Vision stands for the robots being alive and that this is just killing them. But Hank disagrees. He's just correcting the flawed machines that he created. Their argument goes on until Falcon informs Hank that they're going to destroy the device that he used to shut off the robots. But Hank turns to the group. "Go ahead. I'll make another. I've seen what these things can do, and I'll be prepared for the next world invasion." Before they can take the discussion any further, though, Eros crash lands through the windows. "Ultron has taken over Titan. He is our entire planet now," he informs them. So as they begin to plan how long it'll take for Ultron to reach Earth, Vision fiddles with the computers and removes Ultron's cloaking technology. Because Ultron is already here. And sitting in his throne, he thinks to himself,
Once I sought your love, Father. Now I will take it.
And he begins his attack on the Avengers Tower using robots built to be the former team of the Avengers. Ultron versions of Captain America, Thor, Yellow Jacket all begin their fight. And it doesn't take long for Ultron to remove the Avengers one at a time. First, Scarlet Witch is infected with the Ultron virus. Then Quicksilver is attacked from behind, and female Thor gets infected with it. Falcon, Spider-Man, Hank, Vision, Sabretooth, and Wasp all grab a Quinjet and they begin to try and get away as they come up with a plan. But they don't get very far before Ultron begins attacking the jet and infects Wasp. The jet explodes around everyone with all of them falling to the ground. And Eros asks, have the Avengers actually ever landed the Quinjet? The remaining group begins to climb the nearby tower, but along the way we lose Spider-Man and we lose Sabretooth. In the end, only Falcon, Vision, and Hank remain, and the argument once again becomes, do we kill the robots? Avengers don't kill, so is turning off Ultron killing him? But the bigger question becomes, since everyone is now infected with this robotic virus, would Hank's device kill everyone? So Vision offers an alternative. He offers to phase and merge with Ultron using this frequency, so that it would only kill Ultron, but it would also kill Vision. Hank disagrees. He won't let Vision sacrifice himself, but Vision counters with, if I'm nothing more than a machine, what does it matter? So they enact their plan, with Hank approaching Ultron's base of operations. All of Ultron's soldiers just let Hank get closer, because as Hank says, he's here to see his son. As he enters Ultron's throne room, Ultron looks down at him.
Hello, Father. Have you come to unburden yourself with the lie of unconventional love? To unburden your own hatred?
And Hank tells him, I don't hate you. I'm disappointed in you. You want to hurt people. And Ultron just turns his back to Hank.
Yes, I do. And why did that end up becoming my primary motivation? While trapped within my coffin, I processed this very question, and I discovered your memories. The memories of an ashamed father, of a withholding mother, of cruel children who smashed your inventions. You are desperate for acceptance. My rage is your rage. I am the embodiment of what you truly want, to erase them all. We are Ultron.
And just then, Vision dephases from inside of Hank and he flies into Ultron, merging with him. Half Vision, half Ultron, this new being rolls around the ground in agony until Hank finally has enough and he yells for Vision to stop. But Ultron uses this to his advantage, and he uses Vision's ability to phase so that he can leap into Hank's body, phasing with Hank. Vision screams out no as he's thrown aside, and Falcon hears problems going on inside, so he flies overhead to crash land through the windows, and he lands in front of a merged Hank and Ultron.
Earlier, you asked if there was a god, Falcon. Well, there is now.
Falcon leaps onto the combined monster, yelling for Hank to fight against him. But Ultron throws Falcon off.
There is no conflict inside of us. Hank likes it here. I am him.
And Falcon punches Ultron across his metallic jaw. You are not Hank Pym! Ultron then grabs and throws Falcon aside, when suddenly Vision recovers and flies straight into Ultron, pushing him out the back wall and into the open space of the city. Hank, your son is not you, Vision cries out, but Ultron stands back up.
We were never truly Hank's son. We were his reflection.
The two titanic robots begin to slug it out. With their lasers and strength, there is nothing around them but destruction as they destroy everything. But Ultron combined with Hank is too much for Vision, and he begins to tear Vision apart.
You will burn for what you did to me! I was built hollow in a world where I didn't belong.
All hope appears to be lost when out of nowhere, Eros steps back up. There is one solution. Love yourself. And he hits the Ultron-Hank combination with the power of love. This flips the switch and Hank is given a moment of clarity while inside of Ultron. The two beings begin to fight over control of Ultron's body, and Ultron calls out, "No! Make it stop! Dear God, what have I become?" And he flies straight into the sky, aiming for space, thus ending our conflict. With Ultron's presence removed from Earth, the virus vanished from everyone that it infected. Our heroes all gathered around to remember Hank the hero. After everything Hank did, he was never free of guilt and forever haunted by the many mistakes he made in his life. If what Ultron stated is true, the self-loathing and vile hatred that was within Ultron was also within Hank. If this was actually inside of him, he was an astonishing man for dedicating himself to helping others, and he will always be remembered as one of the greatest Avengers. Maybe one day, he'll return and he'll understand that. Thank you for joining us today. This book is, like I said, a really interesting book, and I do enjoy it myself. If you do want to pick it up yourself, make sure you check our link in our description down below, and don't forget to support the channel by checking out our store, where you can get yourself some Comicstorian t-shirts and superhero t-shirts. We also have a video game channel known as Eligible Monster, where we bring you gaming variety videos every week, and we would really appreciate it if you would join us over there. I'm Benny the Comicstorian, and I will see you guys next time, right here.
The savage monkeys are rage-filled and claustrophobic, climbing over one another to nowhere. Confused by logic, they dismiss it. Vicious, filthy, selfish, fearful, a fungal infection for which there is only one cure. The rage of Ultron!